The big question is, are you working harder on your business than you are on yourself? If so, it's time to shift that focus. Let's talk about what it truly means to invest in yourself and why this bridge is one of the foundational pieces to success, happiness, and fulfillment in your life. I'm Josh Kosnick, founder of Kairos Coaching and Consulting, and I've been in the trenches of the financial services world for 2 decades, hitting huge business goals while neglecting the most important asset, myself. Today we're diving into Bridge 2, which we call internal. If you're feeling burned out, stressed, or just not at your best, this video is for you. I used to think that grinding it out, working 12 to 14-hour days was the key to success. I wore it like a badge of honor. I was often first to the office and often last to leave. I wore exhaustion on my sleeve like it was proof of my commitment to my business, my goals, my achievements. And at that time, I thought just push harder was the way to do it. But here's what I didn't realize. I was running on E. My health was declining, my relationships were strained, and my mental state was utterly fragile. I was trying to lead a team, I was trying to lead a family, I was trying to lead a business, but I wasn't trying to lead myself, and I was failing at everything. Maybe not externally. Everyone saw success, but I was failing miserably internally. When I lost everything, it forced me to take a step back. It was a wake-up call and realize how wrong I had been about life, business, about fulfillment. How can I give my best to others when I'm not taking care of myself? That was the question I had to ask myself. That's when I realized that success isn't just about external wins, accomplishments, and the things that we obtain. It's really about internal resilience. There's a very distinct reason that when we get on an airplane, one of the first things we're told is in case of emergency, secure your oxygen mask first before assisting others. Because if we're passed out, if we're not able to assist others, if we're dead, we can't help anyone else. So oftentimes people think that taking care of myself is selfish, when with the proper intent, it's the most selfless thing you can do so that you can be the best for others. You have to be the best version of yourself so that you can be the best for others. It was taking care of the most important asset. That's you. Your mental, physical, and emotional health aren't just nice to haves. They're essential. They're non-negotiables if you want to live a life of fulfillment and success. Mental health. So I'm going to reframe this to brain health, but everyone knows it as mental health. The reason I want to reframe it to brain health is because brain we know as an organ. Typically when we diagnose things, we have a strained muscle, we have a heart attack, we have gut biome issues. We're referring to a specific spot on our body. Typically when we talk about mental, we're thinking of mental institution, mental problems. And it has a negative connotation. If we're going to truly change the stigma, we need to change the words. So I'm going to focus on brain health in lieu of mental health. If you're not actively working on your mindset and strengthening your brain as a muscle, you're leaving a lot on the table. I've said often that your mental health is your mental wealth. You've got to challenge your old stories, your old records, your old narratives. You got to question them. A lot of our life is about unlearning some of the teachings and lessons we learned as kids. We got to remember that our parents were damaged people as well. And they did the best that they could to raise us. But some of those lessons weren't appropriate for us going forward. And we've got to unlearn those to become the best version of ourselves possible. And we really got to question our limiting beliefs. God gave us an abundant world. Abundance of resources, abundance of gifts that he gave each of us. And our job is to find out just how deep those gifts go internally and give them back to the world in the service of others. Mental toughness helps us navigate life's ups and downs. That means we don't get too big for our britches and we don't wallow in our pits of despair. We're able to climb back out. We're able to continue going forward. And if we're at the peaks of the mountains, we know that there's room to grow. We're never done evolving as a person, as a human, where there is no arrive or arrival. It's constantly evolving, constant and never-ending improvement, that Kaizen mindset. Now, when we talk about physical health, there is zero chance that you become the best version of yourself without prioritizing your health. Whether that means hitting the gym, eating clean, figuring out what's going on inside or under the hood, all of those things lead to you being the best version of yourself. You got to get proper rest. Your physical health is dependent on you getting proper rest, eating a clean diet, working out and pushing and testing your body to different limits and beliefs. Big goals require big energy, and you cannot have big energy without properly taking care of your physical being. Now, as we think about emotional health, this one is big, and I want to speak directly to you men really quick. You have to get a hold of what stressors in your life are taking you off of your game. We have to have conversations in community with other like-minded people that help challenge us and help support us. Women tend to be a little bit better at this than us men. They tend to have conversations that talk about emotions. For whatever reason, again, we have to unlearn that we can have conversations with friends, deep conversations about the things that are really struggling us, the weight of the world on our shoulders, talking to them through the difficulties that we're having in being a human being. Our emotional well-being is the foundation for everything else, and we have to work on it constantly. All of these things need as much or more attention than your business does. Don't get it twisted. Briefly, let's talk about how to strengthen your internal bridge. We've got to know our weak spots. We need to take stock on where we are mentally, physically, and emotionally. Don't be afraid to be brutally honest with yourself at all times. Admitting our weaknesses and finding others that have strengths that complement our weaknesses. What's draining your energy? And what habits are serving you or not serving you? A habit that I recently addressed with myself over the last 3 years is alcohol. I'm a huge bourbon lover. However, my habits were, at the end of a long day, I would have a bourbon, my wife would have a glass of wine. Through my 75 hard regimens over the years, I had an epiphany. I was drinking over 300 days a year. I was never drunk, but I would have that glass of bourbon every single night, or almost. So over 300 days a year. I've now reversed that. So if you see me, I'm likely not drinking. I might be drinking a sparkling water. So now I've switched it to less than 30 days a year and just reversed that paradigm because it wasn't serving me to be the best version of myself. So now I drink only on special occasions or with special people that come to town. So if you have a glass of bourbon with me and I'm partaking, you're a special person. Everything resides in our habits and our daily efforts. So just like a muscle, your mental and physical health need to be flexed and practiced every single day. It requires consistency and work. This means daily practices of meditation and prayer and physical movement, mental and emotional being. Are you praying? Are you reading? Are you challenging your thoughts? Are you giving yourself time for stillness, quiet, to dive inward, to address some recurring thoughts, recurring emotions, and things, old records that are playing in your brain and that need to get worked out so that you can go on and move on to be the best version of yourself? Prioritizing proper nutrition and sleep. I cannot stress this enough. Clean eating helps you have a clean biome. Everything is affected at the cellular level. Those cells internally process our cognition. They help our body operate in an efficient manner. So getting the proper rest, getting the proper nutrition are going to help you become the superhuman that you were meant to be. For me, starting the day with proper hydration, exercise, and time in meditation and prayer helps set my brain up for war and battle on the day. I'm not saying you got to wake up at 4 a.m. What I am saying is having a proper morning routine that sets your mind, body, and spirit up for the battle that it's about to face is a game changer for your life. And lastly, we have to break the negative patterns. Be intentional about breaking those old limiting habits. If you keep defaulting to the same mental narratives, you're never going to break free. Scientists say that we have about 60,000 thoughts that go through our brains, the average person, on a daily basis. Think of those like clouds passing in the sky. And 90% of those thoughts are recurring. The other 10% are new info, new inputs. So are they positive inputs or negative inputs? And which of those clouds or thoughts are you picking out of the sky and attaching yourself to? We need to be continually fostering new thoughts, new energy, and a positive forward momentum. Change your practice, change your life. Change your thoughts, change your future. In the next video, we're diving into bridge number 3, relationships. We'll be talking about why being present for those that you love most isn't just a nice thing. It's essential to living a truly fulfilled life. In closing, building the internal bridge is about working on yourself harder than you do on your business. If you're ready to invest in your well-being, in your growth, let's create a life that is full and not just successful on paper, not just successful on accolades. And if this message hit home for you, hit like, hit subscribe, share it with someone that you think is going to resonate with as well. Remember, you are not on this journey alone. I'm here with you to help you build these bridges one by one, starting with the inside out.